Hi, Anthony. How are you, buddy? How you all doing? Just waiting for some of the other people to turn up, if possible. Um, there's an invite there if you want to come in and join in. Anthony, you're more than welcome to come in. Um, hey, Jerry, how are you, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Um, hey, Nissy, Ethan. I'm managing to squeeze in the show. There is a few little storm cells about, so I thought I'd get on with it. I got up late this morning and not really prepared for the show. I was going to do a little modelling on my channel today, and the problem is the kit I was going to work on, I can't find it. Place. Oh no, here we go. Matt Clark is on the channel. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing well, doing well. How are you, Arty?
Good, mate. Good. I was going to do a bit of a modelling show, but I can't seem to locate the kit that I was going to do. So, yeah, I'm going to have to leave it for next week. I was going to do the canvas roof for one of my carriages. Just show everybody. I was going to give that tar canvas look like what I've got on top of this car here. But I don't seem to find the kit. But we'll leave that for next week. Next Sunday I will do that. Because what I use to do the roof is I use this medical bandage tape, as you can see here. And it works out, the width of it works out to be, in scale, roughly about 4 foot. So that when you look at, hey Melvin, hey Joe, it works out roughly about 4 foot wide, which is roughly about the ply and fabric that they use at the time to do the roofs with. So I'm going to show people how I use this on the roof, and these are pretty cheap. I mean, every chemist, or you guys call them pharmacies or whatever, I can't remember what you guys call them, the drugstores over there, pick them up for about 20 cents, 50 cents the most for these rolls of tape, and I found it actually gives me a nice finish. And I also use that on my buildings to do the, particularly in American buildings, how you've got the tar finish on the buildings. I use the tape on that too. Hey Lee, I'll see if I can get to it. I did do one building. I'll see if I can get to it and I'll show you the finish.
Hi, Ian. Hi, anybody.
No, I can't get to it. But anyway, I'll show everybody how I do it next week. I'll be a bit more prepared. I installed I got myself another one of those cameras that I bought, that I had on last show. I'll grab it while I can. Lucky I did. And the only thing I don't like about it, I'll show you by the cameras. The only thing I don't like about it is
Hello, Ethan.
The colours are different. It seems to be very, very dull. That's a new camera there. But it's come up all right.
Oh yeah.
These two cameras going to go in a hidden staging area, whereas we're not going to be in the view of a normal eye view. So they're going to go into there. I'm going to get some more. This is the old camera when it fires up. And that's the older camera. It's got more true color in this one, but yeah, it's the other one's got night light on it, so I can actually use it in dark spots of those other two cameras. Hello, Ethan. How are you, buddy? The only issue I'm having at the moment, I wanted to get these cameras all working on the OBS at the same time. But the OBS went all funny with using multiple cameras. Somehow it's not reading, it's probably picking up one and whatnot. So I'm thinking about uninstalling the program, starting again, and see if that fixes up the problem.
I certainly don't.
This week's just. I just haven't had time to do it this week. Well, I just had a big, busy week. One of my friend's father passed away. We had the funeral this week.
Right.
So trying to help with them and being a driver to take people to the funeral up in Sydney. Hey, T4, how are you?
Hello, T times 4.
And also me going in with between my medical appointments and CT scans and that. I just didn't have time to spend on it.
Well, because of course with OBS, there's so many factors. I mean, it's the CPU in your computer, can it handle all of it? But then it's the cameras. If they're all a bunch of generic cameras, they're like decoders. They have an address. And most of your generic cameras have the same address. And unless you have a dedicated USB port, and just because you have 2 USB ports on your computer doesn't mean they're dedicated. They may all feed onto the same point on your motherboard. Because that's one of the issues I had when I first started putting multicams on, is I was using generics. And then I bought different types of cameras, but I also got dedicated USB ports, self-powered. You plug them into like a PCI slot, and then each of those slots has its own address that the motherboard reads. That's why I can put 10 up. Now my CPU is struggling with the 10 cameras and the microphone and all the other stuff I've loaded into OBS. So I either need to eliminate a couple of cameras to stop the flickering, or I need to get a better CPU in my computer that it can handle all of that.
Yeah, well, see, one thing I think you might have answered my problem there, Anthony or Matt or whoever you are. I think you might have answered my question, because it's one of the things I've been asking myself. Yeah, just watch out for those tanks, eh? Sorry, I've got to crack up every time you talk about tank. I'm thinking about my cousin's car being flattened by a tank over in Sylvania when the Civil War broke out over in Yugoslavia, because he parked his car in front of the tank to stop it. So guess what the tank did? Went over the top of it.
Well,
his car, so we just said that was his car.
Jeez. See, I stole this bit from the hit by a tank bit. Is from an old American comedy duo. Actually, they were DJs on a Los Angeles radio station. They were like a morning, I don't know. I mean, you've been in America, so you know that there's always these morning DJ crews that are basically failed comedians or whatever. But these guys were very famous, and they put out all kinds of party albums in the 70s called Hudson and Landry. And one of the skits they did was this old soldier who everybody, he's part of Hitler's inner circle or whatever. But, you know, whatever happened to Goebbels? Dead, hit by a tank. You know, hey, whatever happened to him? Oh, poor bastard, dead, hit by a tank. So, you know, I have to give credit. You know, sometimes I make my stuff up. Sometimes I make it my own. But, like, that is just, it's my variation of a bit. Those guys 50 years ago.
Well, when I hear that, I just have to laugh because the first thing that comes to my mind is my cousin parking the car in front of the tank to block it. The tank goes over the top of it. So, going back to talking about the cameras, you see the two cameras that you see. I'll show you now. Like, it's working off my computer, straight off my computer, no problem. I've got this camera here that looks into Randall's Run, right?
That is so nice, though. That is a nice camera, man. I love that.
Yeah. And then I've got this one here.
I do.
When it fires up. I've got this one here that looks into the maintenance facility. Now, these two cameras are the same brand, but I'm also assuming they got the same address. Now, working on the Windows 10, I don't know how to change it because I believe that's where they are clashing.
But I'll tell you right now, it's probably not the address issue. Arty, it's not the address issue because you're getting an image out of both of them. Usually when you have the address issue, one of them won't give you an image. But since you're getting an image out of both of them that you're projecting on right now, getting them to go multiple, I'd have to sit down with the keyboard on your OBS with you and go, okay, here's the problem, because it could still be the address issue that OBS is reading one. But it's almost like we'd have to set up a webcam bit where I could look at your OBS and do mine. And again, you know, Heath knows OBS a different way than I do, and he adds so many other things into it. My son-in-law taught me how to use OBS, and now that I understand those problems, I know how to get around them. Sometimes I can't explain it as easy as, like, hang on, let me plug this in here and plug that in there, and boom, problem fixed.
G'day, Rick. How are you? Yeah, well, so they all work, and the CPU is handling it. I bought two different USB junction ports.
Are they self-powered?
No.
Are they just... Okay, so hang on.
They're running up.
Whoops. Are they like this? I don't know. Can you see what I'm holding up? You know, where they don't plug it. It's a USB port into the side of your computer. Can you see that at all? It's just a USB port. This is four USB.
Mine's like that. Mine's like that. It's plugging in the side of the computer.
Right. Yeah, that won't solve a problem.
Yeah, that's the way I've got mine at the moment.
Yeah, you need self-powered USB. There's USB hubs and there's USB, what are they? USB hubs and USB ports. A USB hub, and I might get this backwards, computer people correct me. The USB hub is the one you just plug into the computer and then it allows you to add 4 more, but it still can only draw that much power. So like if you plug in 4 cameras, they won't work because you drain too much power, but you can plug in like a microphone, 1 camera, and maybe your mouse Bluetooth bit. So you need a self-powered strip where it plugs into an outlet, and those will help out with any of that issue. If you plug them into the same port, then yes, your OBS will only read 1 camera, and when you switch it, it may work the one, but when you try to load them both in on OBS.
That's what this one was.
Okay, so yeah, that is one part of your problem. It may be the only part, but that's a key right there because, yeah, you've got to have a self-powered strip.
Now, this is a self-powered strip, and I tried to get this one working for the show last Sunday. And what apparently happened, this thing here has failed. I mean, I only spent, I think, about $15 from Amazon.
Right.
It's failed.
Yeah,
So
they
I
can
just
only
got
take
to,
so much. If you were to plug in, like, I assume that was a 4-port. If you plug
yeah,
4 cameras into it, you'll burn it out. You'll either burn it out or it will burn your computer USB port out where you plugged it in.
yeah,
You need
yeah,
what they call you need self-powered, where it has an actual 120 volt or 220 volt, whatever power system you have, that plugs into the wall, where all the power comes from the wall. And the only connection into the USB is it sends the information into the computer. It's not drawing power to the strip out. These little ones, there's a million variations of a theme, but these little ones here, where you plug this in and it powers these. Yeah, you can't even use 2 cameras on these. Yeah. Because it drains too much power.
You see, the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. Okay, let me get rid of this Russian. Thank you. Well, see, my biggest issue was I've got most of the cameras working, except for the first cam, which is listen.
Hi, Ron.
Come on, fire up. Right, there we go. This was the first initial webcam that I pulled up in the little cube. They work fine together. But as soon as I bought the other one and hooked the 3 up together, go back to it. The original webcam this one here decided to fail on me.
Right.
While the other 2 cameras still worked, including my face. So I don't know. I think I might have to invest in. I think I will have to invest in a better computer down the track. So
because you are going through exactly what I went through about 18 months ago when I first started doing live streams and then adding all the extra cameras. And I had to have my son-in-law and my son come over and start explaining things to my 1970s, 1980s technology blocked mind. But like I would see, like my cameras are all working when I go through. Like if I pull up camera on my computer and click camera and switch cameras, they're all working. The minute I go to load them into OBS, they won't work. And that's where, because you got 3 generic cameras that all have the same address, and you're plugging them into a port, and so that port sends only one address, so they're all reading the same address. So you can get one of the 3 to signal, but you can't get all 3 to work individually on OBS. So now I've got a couple of generic cameras, but my new computer, I literally went out and bought I fortunately had a laptop die, and thus I had an excuse to go buy a new computer, a new desktop computer. And so I went and bought a new desktop. I made sure it had all these dedicated individual USB ports. So it has 8 dedicated USB ports on it, but then I've got memory I've got all these cameras plugged into it. I've got the Bluetooth Wi-Fi, I've got the speaker, I've got the mouse Bluetooth plugged in. I've got all these things plugged in. So I still had to go out and buy 2 powered strips, 2 powered USB. The one you showed me, that's not powered. It gets its power from the computer. And one way to help solve your problem is to get a power strip, because a power strip one where you plug it into the wall. Yeah, that one.
The wall.
Oh, so that plugs to the wall?
Yeah, that's the one that failed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
no.
That's the one that failed.
Wow, that's
the one
weird.
that
That is such a small jack, too. That is such a small jack. I have never seen one that small. Well, no, I have because I've used one.
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
I
yes,
just
this
need
it is a
one to have
laptop.
heavy duty.
I
It's
basically
like
got this. What was that,
Go ahead.
Anthony?
No, I was just saying the power
Yeah.
strips that
Yeah.
I'm
Well, see,
talking.
I bought. Okay. Looks like we've got a bit of a delay there. Okay, yeah, I've just got the basic laptop. Well, not that basic. It's still like a medium range laptop, and I'm basically bought this laptop to run my layout, like with using JMRI. And now I'm going on to that German program, the train controller,
Okay.
where you can do automation and whatnot. It's a lot simpler to use than JMRI. It does all your calculation done. It helps you do all the calculations for automation and that. I bit the bullet and decided I'm getting that for Christmas, as a Christmas present. Since I got a refund from my bogus GG1 order and steam engine order from that bogus website, so I thought, no, I'll go and get it. I just got to wait for the dongle to arrive from Germany. Who knows how long that's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got this computer to basically do that. And then now I've gone into, I bought the laptop before I started YouTubing. I started YouTubing about end of June, early July. So it's roughly about 6 months. But now I'm looking at it that this laptop's going to be too small for it. So I will have to look into upgrading it somewhere down the track. It's not a huge big deal. I'll get at least if I can get another 2 cameras to work properly in some form, I'll be happy with for now, and just get the layout up and going. I really want to get out my trainers going around and doing something instead of going from here to there and back again. Yeah, you can do a lot of switching, but it can get a bit, what's the word? Boring?
Right.
You will know what I mean. You go to the same location. If I put another location on, it would be even better. Hey, Jean Ricard, how are you? Didn't see you sneak in.
Hey, Jean Ricard. Jean Ricard, easier said than done because you hear a pause, so you say, okay, I'll speak now. But that pause was actually a delay. We definitely try not to talk over each other, unfortunately. So apparently we're going to have to start giving a signal, Arty. Like, this means I'm still talking, and this means I'm done talking. So this means I'm pausing but still talking, and this means I'm done talking. Or when I put this on, I'm talking.
Right. Yeah, that's a drawback of having to do this live stream where we halfway around the world from each other. It just takes that a little bit of a delay going from here to over the other side. The Chinese and the Japanese and Americans still haven't worked out how to get the signal to travel faster.
Indeed. It's one of the negatives, but to me the blessings outweigh it. It's amazing to be able to be sitting here and talking 8,000-9,000 miles away, and yet still be able to talk face to face and have a bunch of people from around the world, even somebody who's way past his bedtime in the Netherlands, who's here to criticize that we're talking over each other. Now, having said all that,
Sorry, I just looking at what Gene was saying to you.
That's because I save it all up for the internet, Arty. Ask Joyce. I spend most of the time not talking.
Well, I only need the hat too. Hang on a minute. Hang on. There you
Hey,
go.
it's 8:26 here in Ohio too.
Yeah. Oh, they have got another one. Hang on a minute. I have got another. I'm more upset a few people.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a World War III.
There we go.
The Chicago Cubs.
Wait
a minute, I'm going to tap that one, man. Got all kinds of stuff here, man. There we go. You can have your Cubs. I'm going Miniature Wonderland, babies. Miniature Wonderland.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. This cat was bought on a special day. This cat was bought on the day when they won the World Series when I was over in the US.
Oh no, we don't talk about that because they beat my Indians for that World Series.
Yeah.
We had a 3-1
We just knew how to play better on the day. That was it. Man, I never seen so much domestics going on at the last 15 minutes of a sports game than what I saw with that World Series when the Cubs won on that night. I was in Chicago, in New Lenox at that time, and the domestics, they were going around in all the other apartment blocks. I was just sitting back and laughing.
I was sitting here in Toledo, Ohio. I was sitting here in Toledo, Ohio, crying.
Oh, come on. It was the Cubs' turn.
No,
it was the Cubs' turn to win. No, they can do it next time.
Yeah, I can't change it.
And the other thing no, we can't. That's the thing. But the best part of it was my AFL team here in Australia, which I thought, forget about them. They're not going to make the grand final. They made the grand final over here, which is like your world says, but made the grand final, and they won. Like 2 teams in won. And the local rugby league team won. So it was 3 teams. So I was on a trifecta. I was laughing. Man, I knew I should have put that money down on those football teams. I would have won something. Yeah. So no, we're I'm going to start with my layout expansion on Tuesday, weather pending. Even though I've got an awning in the back where I can work on, that got smashed last night really bad. I mean, it was like we were in an eye of a storm that was growing, like that shot that I showed you.
Yeah.
That was like 2 or 3 storm cells. That was 3 storm cells brewing into one. It was some of it's coming off the shore, some of it coming up from the mountain, and what I was showing up out of my front lawn. But my backyard, work area, it got smashed. I got a TV cabinet there made out of wood. Thank God it's wood, not that chipboard wood. I want to sand that down so I can restain it and whatnot and put it inside. And I've got a chest of drawers as well. Same thing with it, but no, it got soaked. So I've got to put that in the sun hopefully tomorrow. And dry it off. But yeah, all the lumber that I had under the tarpaulin and whatnot, the tarpaulin blew off and wet all the lumber for the layout. So I've got to take all that out and dry it. And yeah.
Jean Ricard, I said the Netherlands. Why do you assume I was mistakenly talking about you See, Jean Ricard, you think it's all about you. You are in Denmark. I happen to mention somebody in the Netherlands, and you assume I'm making a mistake talking about you. I just used a generic phrase like somebody in the Netherlands, and somehow you think it's all about you. Jean Ricard, we just need to get you to stop thinking the world revolves around you.
You see, Ron's yeah. See, Ron's actually hit the nail on the head because they've been having bad weather down there too. It's the cyclonic conditions that we had. Yeah, and it's wild. You know, Denmark's nice, but it doesn't revolve around Denmark, okay? No.
But
Denmark, that's got hell. Just because Denmark's got better trains than what we got here, I mean, you still, no, not here.
But I'm the body on.
Where was that? Was that the Swedish high-speed train, the tilt train? Was that Swedish?
You're asking the wrong guy. I barely know German trains.
Yeah, it done a world tour. Came out to Australia because I want to use it to go between Sydney and here, and Sydney, between Sydney, Newcastle, Sydney, Wollongong, down to Melbourne. The high-speed tilt train, but no, it didn't eventuate. But Amtrak was looking at the same thing. I can't remember. Was that Swedish? Denmark. I think it was made from Sweden.
I know. As an American, the only thing I knew Swedish were Swedish meatballs and the Swedish bikini team.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a long chain commercial.
That's it. Yeah. Thanks, Gene.
Joyce isn't.
Yeah. Only I can't hear nothing. Yes, yeah. The German female hockey team, they look pretty nice when I was driving the buses in the day. I mean, the bus cabin's here, they're sitting up here, and the mirror's sitting there and looking straight up the aisle. And the rest of it, you guys can use your imagination. What I was saying.
Yes, Jean Ricard, I do know.
Nice, friendly
I bought this from IKEA. This is my IKEA one-legged TV stand. Easy to put together.
Yeah. Anyway, we're it's a lot of fun and games. But yeah, I'm going to start with it. I'll put the timber out to dry out. Now I've worked out the colour. I'm going to do the turntable. I'm going to rip that up on Tuesday. Then I'm going to start listening into all these other streams that I've been missing out on. I'll catch up to everybody's stream, especially your Matt Clark series there, Anthony. It's not that I haven't. I just haven't had time the last couple of weeks.
Wait. You didn't watch Matt Clark Series 2, Episode 1 yet?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just got to watch the last 5 minutes of it because I got interrupted. No, it's been a hell of a 2 weeks, but I'm not being rude because I usually watch everybody. I usually watch everybody's, especially the regular views. I usually watch his stream, but just this last 2-3 weeks, it's just been so hectic around here with personal life, and personal life comes first. I'm sorry, so and I'll start looking at that, looking at checking out your streams and whatnot. Some of you guys got some great content.
There's so many streams, and I mean, and the streams are. For me, a lot of times are more fun than just the videos. But I mean, I'm only subscribed to 300 pages or so, and there are days where like 15 of them put them up, but I feel obligated sounds negative, but I want to watch them all, and it's like there are days where I can't, and I just have to try to catch up. And sometimes I'm watching two at a time. One's on the TV, one's on the computer, and but there's so many out there. And then there's my channel, which I like to think of my channel as the model train channel for model train people that are tired of model train channels.
Yeah.
If you get them.
Yeah.
Because it's still model train people, but nothing model trains is going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have model trainers going, but it's also good to just to talk about the general things as well. That's what my channel's all about as well. I mean, you can just talk about anything you want within reason, within our YouTube limits and regulations and all that jargon. I mean, really, when you look at some of the content on YouTube, what is the actual limit? Uh-oh. Okay, guys, we can go now. Rick is here. We've done our chat for the day. The show's over.
Does anybody smell cedar chips? Oh, sorry. No,
I did smell.
It's the wife.
Yeah.
What trouble are you making now?
Hello, Joyce. We're just talking about baseball.
Oh, you thought you could sit with me for a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, but you got your phone too, just in case.
Just in case. Let's go over a little bit.
Yes, dear. I've come down to join you for a little bit. Now get out of the way and let me on the camera. Get the hell out of the way. I want to be a camera.
What the hell are you going to do for tonight? Oh.
Here, I'll be Sparky.
Oh my God. That's
It was the winning baseball team on the day.
He's wearing the cup because he bought that the day they beat our Indians. Fabio.
Anybody else who said hi, so.
Here, I'll put that over there.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I'll try to shout. I just thought very often I have to come down and join them. So you named yourself that Clark Porter?
Yeah, great-great-grandpa.
That's the fourth.
Great-great-grandpa.
I have a problem with these Oprah locks in the beard. Anyway, Arty, this is your show.
Actually, he almost looks like the guy that I saw wearing a short skirt walking at King's Cross in Sydney many years ago.
You don't
Same
say.
colour
A
hair,
few years ago, I was at King's Cross in Sydney, wearing a skirt.
Oh, you go to King's Cross in Sydney, you see everything.
I was looking for any sailor who would say hello.
Man, Arty, you have just the strangest characters you talk about. You're giving us quite an impression of Australia.
Oh, come on, Joyce. They're downtown Toledo over at Brenda's Body Shop.
Oh, I know that.
Look,
It's not usually running over.
Australia, especially Sydney, we're so diverse over here. We've got all sorts of things here. And we've got all kinds of people.
Hello,
We
sailor.
don't have too many nutcases, but they're further way down south, where near closer to Ron than what they are up here. I mean, we're just crazy up here. Nutcases are down south.
Genre card, I have a finger for
We got
you.
everything.
It's not this one. It's not this one. It's not this one. Although if we're in the UK, you can have these two fingers.
The other finger's broken. Hey, Randall, how are you? Look, I'm not a
Hey,
fan of
Randall.
it, especially when we chat and whatnot. But I mean, look at. Well,
I'm trying to give you more room.
You are. You're nice. No, I didn't need to be down here. I just didn't know.
We can't talk about the Swedish girls, Swedish girlfriend anymore, Matt.
The Swedish bikini team.
Yeah,
They threw
that's
Joyce
right,
out
yeah.
when she was younger because she didn't have blonde hair. She applied for it and they kicked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they threw her out because she was a brunette. You remember those commercials, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So.
But at least you were keeping up tradition, though, Anthony. You're doing what Klinger and Mash kept on doing. All the guys in Toledo wear dresses.
And what?
It's a hobby.
Hi, Dwight. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Arty and Dodge and his wife.
Well, let's put it this way: how many people can?
Well, at least you're ranked number 2. Well, I suppose I could be.
Hey, Dwight.
Or Dodge 2, or.
Hey, Dwight.
Or Dodge woman.
Or
At least
Dodge
we're having a
woman.
laugh. That's the important thing. We're having a laugh in our case.
You have a mailbox and an address?
At least we're having fun. We're having a laugh, which we need.
Oh no, that's what I wanted to go back to real quick. But no, with the thing is, a lot of people talk about what YouTube allows and doesn't allow. You know, about 10 minutes ago or so, we were talking about that. It all depends on how you set your channel up. You know, you can come in and drop the F-bomb 1,000 times and not worry about being booted or kicked off as long as your channel is set up for that security. Because we watch channels that do that, comedian channels. There's no issue because they're set up that way. So sometimes people complain about, oh, YouTube took this down. Well, you need to go into your settings and see exactly how you're set up. And even if you say you're set up not for kids, if you're dropping the F-bomb 3, 4, 5, 10 times you better set it up for adult 18 and over. Just because you click not for kids doesn't mean you can do what you want. There is a third setting in there that says you need to be for adults only. And a lot of people just don't understand that because YouTube, YouTube isn't nearly the phantom, I'm going to strike this down and block you this, as everybody wants to make out. They will. I mean, when I put up videos, they get held for a bit because somebody mentioned the C word, the showstopper, or I'll say the word, and it gets held for 10, 15, 20 minutes. They do a check and they go, okay, he just said the word, he didn't pass misinformation, and then it's okay and it's released. You just got to know what your settings are.
Yeah, well, so this is where I have to be careful, especially with my title and everything else. I might have to change it going up to 18.
Okay.
Because you see, some of the words that we use here in Australia, the common Australian words, like if you ever look at my titles, I've got MA 15 plus, and you may have some coarse language or words that are considered as coarse languages in some countries, like in the US. Right? I got scolded using bugger, damn, darn, all this bloody and that sort of things. And it's our common everyday word we use, and we don't find that offensive.
Yeah,
The
you
F
don't
word's
think
different.
bad about it, right?
But those words like there, like in the United States, especially in the South, they find it offensive. So I put that in there. And it goes by our code of conduct for the media and whatnot here in Australia. So I'm pretty much following those rules. So I don't get myself into trouble. Hey, Greg, if someone gets offended by it, it's like, well, you didn't read the description. You didn't look at the warnings. So
Yeah.
Go on, Matt.
Here's the big example. What's the old Robert Shaw, or not Robert Shaw, I'm sorry, George Bernard Shaw phrase, which Winston Churchill used, two people separated by a common language. one of the biggest issues some guys in the UK are having is because the YouTube parameters are based in the United States is the UK and even Australian slang. Well, I shouldn't say slang, but slang for cigarette, which is immediately a buzz, catch, hate word.
Right.
And the British use it all the time.
Right.
But the YouTube polemics pick it up right away.
Don't recognize it
as a hate speech word, and that's where YouTube has to get adjusted as something like that, like the word bugger.
Cultural differences.
Because in the UK, buggery and bugger has a much more. In America, we go get that little bugger, and it doesn't mean anything. But in the UK, bugger means something very specific. Not that it's bad either, but that's a totally different story.
We just gotta fill those in, Joe. Just similar. When we were in Germany with
something like that.
Flack.
But you have
flat caved. Flat caved. Flat cave. That's like when anti-air guns fire and create a big, flat cave. Okay.
No, that's just a story of
You
Germany.
say that like that?
Kids would play, and if they said Scheisse, which means shit in German, nobody said anything. But if they said shit in English, the teachers would go, "Watch your language."
Yeah, they can say the word in Germany. The kids say Scheisse. Nobody says anything, but they say the American word shit. Then it's what their language.
Yeah. Like what a standard.
Hypocrites.
Well, see, but you have a look at that. You have a look at one of our words. The most common word that you hear an Australian say, and that's bugger.
Right.
I mean, that one word, depending on what tone you use and how you use it in a sentence, it's got many meanings, but most common word will be the S word, like oh shit, or oh it, the F word. But we just use bugger, just as bad. But surprisingly enough, because of the way people are getting so sensitive, Toyota had an ad where they used the term bugger. Where there'd be a dog trying to jump on the tray, the car moves and he falls down the mud, and the dog going, "Oh, bugger." I pulled it. But it's a common word. But you have a look. Look at the English, how many different dialects and terms you got. You've got the original English from UK. Then you've got the Irish English, you've got the Welsh English, you've got the Scottish English, American English, Australian English, New Zealand English.
Mm-hmm.
The international English that people are learning at schools, which is mixed of all words together. Really, they got to be a bit more lenient. Yeah, there are some offensive words, but got to look into what the most common words are used within that region. I mean, even Germany, you go to different parts of Germany, you have different words that are found offensive.
Yep.
In former Yugoslavia, like in Hungary and whatnot, depending where you come from, certain words are found offensive. But in others, it's not. So, I enjoy having a bit of a joke around. I mean, we were talking about jokes yesterday. I mean, joking around is joking around, but there are sometimes where a joke can get far on some cases. So, but I mean, amongst us here, we're all having a good time. We're all having a good laugh. I mean, if we didn't like the content, we wouldn't be hanging around, obviously. Like, you have a look at what Nissy's comment was just a little while ago. I mean, we're having fun. Life's too serious for way too long. It's about time for us to let our hair down what we've got left. That's what I look at anyway. I mean, just because you call me a dumb Aussie, I just can call you a dumb cat. So feelings mutual, and we're still happy, and we'll kiss and make up, shake hands, and we'll be still talking another day.
Sure.
Well, yeah, there's that. But I mean, really, it just comes down to if the rest of the English speaking world would just freaking bow down once and for all, admit that we Americans outnumber you all, and just accept our language, a lot of this would be out of the way.
I'll get stuffed. Well, look, exactly. Now, you didn't say nothing wrong this week. Nothing wrong at all. I mean, the things that you say to us is never taken into offense. I mean, really, I mean, we're here for a good time and a laugh. And other German people are insulted if you say they come from Dunkeld, Deutschland. The other half laughs, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like us calling the Melbournes like Ron and Greg Mexicans because they're south of the border. Well, from us, they're south of the border. A lot of them accept it. But we just got to accept the words that we...
You tell them, love.
We just got to accept that we are the way we are. We're not offending anybody.
Well, I don't know about you,
What
Nisi,
am I
but my
supposed to
Heine's right here in
understand
Toledo,
that,
Ohio.
Greg?
She says, forgive spelling, but isn't Heine in Germany? My Heine's in America.
Yeah, well...
So's your honey.
And my honey. My honey and my Heine. And my honey's Heine.
That's too much information. Sorry.
It was by process of elimination, dear.
Yeah.
If you're here, your Heine's here.
That F word, that F word, that...
Is there a time it
Does
is?
he say it wasn't bad in Germany? Is it bad to say Heine?
No.
Yeah, not that I've ever heard. The rest of the world will start respecting
Same as the United States. Depending on what part of Germany you're in, is take for example where Greg is. Okay, look, most parts of Melbourne can use the F word, and like I can call my boss as an FC sort of thing, and I can get away with it. But there's certain parts of the area where you can actually say that to someone and they'll just give you a dirty look and find you offensive. I can go and tell my boss to go and get stuffed, and it's like, go to work and, come back and say, see you later. I mean, you can't say that to too many bosses, but I mean, we do have what's the word? We've got a good respect and good relationship. We don't take nothing too seriously until we get to actually doing the work and do the job. That's different. So.
One hasn't heard that word in a long time.
No, what?
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's hard to.
Some words. Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and then what Nissa's saying about. There was a. Let me put that up.
Well, that's like in America, you do this, it's okay, although if you take the gang symbol. Yeah. But if you do this in Brazil, you'll get punched. There's always simple thing like in America, this is gotcha, it's okay, we're good. If you tighten it up, it's a gang symbol in the United States. So this is okay, this is a gang symbol, but if you do this in Brazil, you'll get punched.
Yeah, like you see they got this. You see some of the gangs going around with this symbol, walking around like this, right?
Right.
But in actual fact, that is an actual term for the aviators, the old time aviators. They used to go like this to each other. Happy safe flying.
Mm-hmm.
And in Texas, that's hook 'em horns.
Happy safe flying, happy safe returns. That's what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the University of Texas sports teams, hook 'em horns.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also hang 10. The surfer, hang 10, man. Hang 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gangsters ruin everything.
Yeah.
That's very true, DC. Very true.
Travel's good,
Mm-hmm.
but also just learning.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, that's why I enjoy traveling around the world. I had back in the mid '90s and late '90s. I had the opportunity to travel,
A
and I learned
taboo.
a lot of the cultures. The Japanese culture. I actually enjoy the Japanese culture. I don't know if it's still the same, but back in the '90s and whatnot, up to 2000, until I stopped flying. I mean, when you come off at Narita Airport or even at Osaka Airport. The Osaka was the second airport I went to Japan, and just to see people at the airport and around, the respect they give to each other, regardless of stature or whatever, they all say hi and all bow and all give each other respect. Something that we don't really do too much today in common society. I mean, around here we all say hi and bye. In most parts in the south of, I mean, I don't know what it's like where you are there, Anthony and whatnot, but some of the parts where I was in the US, they do say hi and wave.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go someplace, you wave and they go, "What the hell do you want?"
Yeah.
You know?
No, at least here in Toledo,
Well, just be
it's
polite,
very
people
common
up.
to wave to people and say hi and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but then
pretty-
you got a lot of
relatively true.
Well, that's the problem. Joyce says hi to everybody.
It's true.
Joyce says hi to everybody. Someday somebody's going to drive up in a white van and say hi, and she's going to walk over and talk, and I'm not going to see her again. Offer her a weather book. Hi, would you like to talk about the
have
weather?
you
Yes, I'll
upped
be right here.
Shut up.
What?
have you upped the insurance premium on her yet, Anthony?
I can neither confirm nor deny that answer. No, we have.
Yeah,
no, I have to be careful.
YouTube
because
does help. And such a,
I'm the one worth more dead than alive.
It's true, he is.
I'm the one worth a lot more dead than alive. So if I disappear in a while and suddenly Joyce is driving a Corvette, actually she's driving a Corvette, my ghost will come back and haunt
That's
her.
true.
At least if she buys a Viper, I'll be okay with it. Yeah, Viper, I'll be okay with.
Keep my charger.
Keep your charger.
Or get a Challenger. That'll be the rebel. I'm gonna Challenger.
Get your Hellcat.
yes, Nancy, talking to people on YouTube does help. But it's also worth sitting back and listening to what people are saying, how they're saying it and whatnot, because you can get some people coming on you think to yourself, what on earth are they talking about? It just does not make sense. It's a load of bull dust. You know? But comment, it's good when you listen to, particularly between our two countries, the words that you guys use to the words that we use, and the names of different tools. Like you guys will call what we call a wrench over here, or what you guys call a wrench over there, we call it a shifter over here, or a spanner. You know, so that's one of the words. And I've just come up with, I was watching a couple of programs lately, and you guys use the words to us. Like when you go to fill up your car with fuel, you guys say gas, we say petrol.
Right.
If we're going to go put gas in a car, we're actually using LPG gas when we put it in the car.
Okay.
Right? Over there, you just use the one word, gas. You know, so
Yeah, but that's
those
because
are
everything.
the common differences between the two.
Technically, it's oil, but
Yeah, everything in America gets you gas, but you know, that's why it's gas in your car, gas in your food, gas after your food.
But if you say petrol in America, everybody knows what you're talking about.
What you talking about, Willis?
It's not truly a foreign word. We know what petrol is.
Yeah, If I put if you put the ink in the chat, well, I am going to get off in a very shortly, Randall.
Too late, Randall.
'Cause I want to try to get a few things done. Yeah, it's because I'm listening for the grocery truck to turn up because I need to go up to the store and get some bread and whatnot. Things have got really crazy over here with people going panic buying and whatnot in the store. So it's getting very hard to get things at the moment. So if I don't get my fresh bread, I'll have to persevere and make my own. I've got my own ingredients, but
I bet you do.
people have gone stupid and panic buying here, and there's no need for it. There's no need
And there really isn't.
for it. We're
There
not
really
going to
isn't
run out
for
of
that.
supplies.
I mean, people worry about running out of food. People worry about running out of food. And if you live in the middle of nowhere, you can't help it. And if you live where there's lots of people, you got plenty of neighbors. You're not going to run out of food.
No.
That was a cannibal joke, and it
Hey,
went.
Dave, there's a say. But you're right. But yeah, it's supposed to be a joke, but it's reality. It's real. I kid you not. This last week, I'll go walk up to the general store to get my package of cigarettes, right? And I kid you not. There's been a couple of, but one in particular female that's been going in there every day doing her shopping and literally filling up the shopping trolley with 3 4 worth of food supplies. It's like, are you serious? It's like, come on. How about the rest of us? If you don't go rushing, there's going to be enough for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we recovered from the toilet paper hoarding when the showstopper started. That was something.
Oh, they're doing that again here, and also they get they're right in the.
Yeah, Germany's talking about it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
The paracetamol. The paracetamol tablets. We call them Panadol. You know, for your headaches and colds and whatnot.
Okay.
Really, it's like they cleaned out the shelves and that. Yeah, well, Gene, we got a problem with that. The grass hasn't quite grown back properly since our bushfires. So I can't find any of that grass to smoke.
Wow.
I'm just offended by you people talking about smoking grass. That's just offensive to me.
Jane Ricard, you're asking about where Anthony's gas tankers were. There you go. Prove what I said yesterday. He was filling up his tankers with methanol.
No, it's filling me up with meth. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
But no, it's gone crazy. So
you can't buy any Panadol. That's sad.
I've got food here. Just my right hand's not recovering right. So instead of me mixing up the dough or whatnot, I just thought I'd get up there and get some fresh bread and then.
God, our house is the fourth biggest pharmacy in Toledo.
I'm prepared.
I'm just starting to meth around.
Well, messing around, but yeah, Christ, you got plenty of it in your house too. Then this year, you might as well join in. It cleans out the sinus. It cleans out the airwaves. Oh yeah, it works real good. You need to get down to an ethanol plant once in a while. I tell you what. Oh, stuff up down there really cleans out your air system.
You don't snort glue, Jean Ricard. You sniff glue. Everybody knows you sniff. You don't snort glue. You sniff glue.
Brain cells so
You sniff it. Come round here and ask for the young Aborigines. They can tell you. They'll show you how to do it.
I bet.
Oh, I grew up in a neighborhood where half of them blew their brains out sniffing paint thinner, turpentine, glue, the world's cheapest drugs.
Oh, they get you fast.
The kid would start the school year off a normal kid, and by February, because he was hanging out with the other kids going under this little underpass we had on the way to school, where all the kids that would skip school would, somebody stole somebody's turpentine, they would just sit there and huff it. And by February, they just sat there and looked like they hadn't had a haircut in 4 months. And
that's bad. Oh,
We got the same issue with high school around here. It's more handful of them are like that too, and it's like, and then they grab some new young ones coming in there and end up the same way. It's sad. It really is sad.
It sure is. They should get into trains instead.
Yeah, and I mean, I tried to curtail my.
Yeah,
I was snorting Coke for a while. I tried snorting Coke Zero. It just wasn't the same. I even tried snorting Pepsi.
Different chemicals.
For sure.
But I do just snort Coke.
I think snorting Coca-Cola is more painful than snorting Pepsi. Snorting Coca-Cola is more painful than Pepsi. I think.
It's a much better buzz.
That's my experience.
Oh, shoot.
Well, yeah. Snorting fire ants?
Yeah, I like Coke Zero.
Oh, no thanks. Coke Zero. I'll tell you what. If you see what goes in a Coke Zero and these Diet Cokes and Zero sugar.
I know.
I mean, I had.
That's right.
And by the way, that was a spoiler for episode 2.
Oh, it was.
La 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 la. Yeah, by the way, just to peddle my own wares for a while. Yeah, the new Matt Clark episode 2, Smokey returns, and we used the old Smokey image for the Christmas special, but we have a new Smokey image. Jason, the Train Freak's son, Train Freak Jr., is the new Smokey, where he is now Smokey.
Oh. Yeah, I come for the pictures.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And again, if anybody wants to be in the Matt Clark series, just send me a picture of your upper torso and head facing forward, and I'll make you a character, because I've got what, 55 characters, 30 some who are new.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of new characters, so if anybody wants to be in there, because a lot of people were teasing and thought it was Chris from Hales Heritage Railway. Jean Ricard here was our character Stanley Steamer. And Steamhair, Stanley Steamhair. And we have Chris from Hales Heritage Railway is appearing in episode 3 as a character. And so if anybody still wants to be in, just go to my YouTube channel page, and my email's there. Just send me a picture, and I'll edit you in. I will let you know what your character is and what they're going to do in the story so that you can approve it. Just remember, if you don't know Matt Clark, it's not a cute little children's story.
Hey, Sarah. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're recovering well.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Sarah hasn't been. Yeah, she hasn't been.
Sparky too.
Yeah, hang in there, darling.
Sparky.
See, amongst with Mum and most of the Hungarian. Oh, you're leaving, Nissy? Oh. Okay, Nissy, you take care. Well, we're going to call it quits in a moment too. Mum used to always call me Ned Kelly. Because my beard, I always had long beards and whatnot. Mum and Mum's side of the family, Melbourne, they always called me Ned Kelly. Because I was a rebel in the family. I want to follow the Hungarian traditions. Hey, I'm born in Australia. So what?
Yeah. You don't know Ned Kelly? You don't know Ned Kelly?
Maybe.
Because didn't Mick Jagger play him in a movie? But Ned Kelly is a famous How would you compare?
He was a
him to
famous
someone-
actor.
He was Ned Kelly was kind of like a sort of a Jesse James or a
Okay.
Robin Hood or something like that. I mean, there's much more to a lot of politics and everything involved, but yeah, he was.
Well,
I guess
let's
that's-
put it this way. He was one of the last that stood up for the corruption in Victorian Police Department. But they all made him as a murderer and whatnot. But if you have a look at the actual true history behind it, he was only standing up for the corruption in the police department in Victoria, which is still
Right.
going on today. Yeah, I have touched a real suit, Nick Kelly suit, and if you ever come down here, Anthony, I'll take you down to there where he's got his chute with bullet holes in it and dents in it.
Oh, shoot.
Quite
yeah,
hideous.
yeah. He forged a metal outfit and helmet, and that's why I thought it was funny that they had Mick Jagger or whatever play him in the movie. But yeah, he got shot up. He looked like a garbage can that somebody took a shotgun to.
Wow.
I've actually touched his armor too. I got 3 days in jail for it.
Oh, you got out easy then, haven't you?
At least that's what he said.
Look at that. Look at what happened. Well, look. But still, you're not a good legend like he is. I mean, still a lot of people. Now that's a legend next to you. She's a legend. Yeah.
This is almost what she looked
Putting
like
up-
the first time we saw each other.
I had a better fitting hair.
Well,
She hasn't changed a bit.
It wasn't the first time we dated. It was the first time we were in the same place. About a month, 5 weeks before we dated, 6 weeks before we dated. We were at a party, and the first time I ever saw her, she was wearing a blue sweatshirt and a baseball cap. So now it's a gray sweatshirt and a baseball cap.
Yeah. She's trying to match your hair. You know, grey shirt, grey hair. I can't.
If I only had hair to be gray. Thanks, dear.
Yeah, you got the same problem.
You have some.
Yeah, you have the same problem. You got the same problem as me. Keep pulling it down this way. But anyway, guys, it's been great talking. I'm going to have to call it quits. I'm going to get some housework done around here and some chores and whatnot. And thank you for coming along. I'm going to find that kit somewhere amongst my rubbish that I've got in my training room here, and I'll do next Sunday what I'm doing now. What I was got now, that didn't come out right. I'm going to do next week. I'm going to do something on the show next week. What I was going to do on today's show.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds better. Yeah.
All right.
So I'll see everybody as I can through the week. Everyone stay safe. Be good to each other. Don't take too much clutter out if you do to throw it back. Yeah. And enjoy life the best you possibly can.
Agreed, Arty.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Toodaloo. Bye, all. Take care.
Thanks for joining.